And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Pressure Cooker. Once again, I'm Anthony Irwin. The Lakers looked like they were making kind of a charge back to get back into this thing. They did at one point tie the game. It looked like it was going to be a fun last 5 minutes or so, but New York has just gone on a bit of a run. 105-93 is the score in New York, and the Lakers have a little bit of work to do. But given the fact that they were able to get back into it, it's possible, right? I think that was a line from Angels in the Outfield. It's possible, I think. I forget. But yeah, I'm Anthony Irwin. I'm going to be welcoming hopefully a couple people into this thing. So we'll look forward to that conversation as it happens. But yeah, here we go. We are away. Hopefully one of these we'll be able to do where the Lakers are winning one. That would be nice. I would thoroughly enjoy that. But, we'll just have to get there when we get there. All right. So, commercial break. I'm curious to see your thoughts as the Lakers stand right now. And most valuable Lakers to this point, least valuable Lakers to this point. Probably still a little early to guess a lucky number or a magic number here. Probably still got a couple minutes to go before we get there. But one thing is for sure is that the Lakers need to play just about perfect for two of these next 4 minutes if they want to have a chance. So let's see how this thing goes. I have a buddy who wants to hop on here, so we'll see if he can. All right, so 4 minutes ago, looks like Melo just picked up a foul. 105-93 is the tally. I have a nice glass of Pinot Noir, so if y'all are partaking, let me know what you guys are enjoying on this fine Tuesday night before we get to the Thanksgiving holiday. Come on, hit one, Melo. Oh. An interesting flavor to that. There's so many closeouts that are kind of out of control. But you have to stop. Run. Get out. There you go. Good finish there. 10-point lead now, 105-95 after AD's lay-in. Again, need to continue playing perfect basketball here to have a shot. So we'll see how. Oh, man. Ooh, got lucky. We got lucky. Oh, there he is. There he is.
You know what? I think if you think you got lucky having me join the proceedings, I think you need to reevaluate some things in your life.
Oh no, I meant they got lucky. I want to make sure I'm not correcting you too fast on that.
I love you, brother.
No,
I love you, brother. And I enjoy our show, but
the Lakers got lucky. The ball bounced off of quickly after it looked like Russ was.
Oh no, this one's done. Why are you still paying attention?
We'll see.
We can talk and rant and rave about it, but
we'll see.
This is
needed that one.
No, this is not a win. No.
So,
but in the spirit of our show, I'm gonna grab a cocktail as we last couple of minutes here.
You do it to it. Come on, Melo, make one. That's why they got rid of you out of New York.
Oh, look, your feed is behind mine. This feels good here. I'm gonna enjoy this. This is the best part of the game for me. The fact that your feed all the way out in Texas is behind mine here.
I keep trying to get my cable box into my office, but
you got that? What do you got? That dial-up in there next to Avery Mountain? You got the dial-up?
Avery Mountain is our dial-up. There's actually there's a hamster running in there.
Attaboy.
So many like desperation threes. I like Russ getting frustrated at somebody taking a desperation three. Yes,
Yeah,
Russ.
that's rich,
You
ain't it?
get to judge on that one.
Yeah, that's rich, ain't it? That's rich.
Hennessy tastes amazing.
Hennessy is delicious. Oh, you got a little red wine this evening?
Mm-hmm. That's like usually my go-to, but it's hard to get myself to drink wine at like noon on a Friday.
When we do the show, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, wine is not a great. Well, we started to talk about this on the show
Yeah.
on Friday. Yeah, wine is not a great morning drink. I mean, to be fair, like nothing is great in the morning, which is why you and I probably shouldn't do it. And here I am pouring. But wine is not towards the top of the list of things that you should
No.
drink in the mornings.
For some reason though, like, people, wine is okay if it has bubbles in it, but
And if it's not red, it's got to be. It's got to like, yeah. If it's rosé or if it's champagne,
yeah.
you're good. But
Where are you at?
I am in San Francisco. I'm at mom and pop's place in San Francisco.
Mom and Pop's got a nice place, it looks like.
You're seeing a little different background here.
Yeah.
Pops was sitting here watching the game with me, and he is as disgusted as the rest of us.
So you can see this comment on the screen right here, right? From Barnes. Avery Bradley just gets shot over by every single point guard. So I have a theory as to like I wanted to run it by you in terms of like how to quantify why it is that the defense struggles with Bradley out there. And I think it's part that he's a small guard who is not as fast as he used to be. But then on top of it, like Frank, I think trusts him too much. Like with the type of defense that he's asking Bradley to play, the kind of guys that he puts Bradley on in those moments. I just think, you're better off having a worse defender out there who doesn't have that reputation, because maybe that defender would be asked to defend in a smarter way.
I think that's fair, but I think that illustrates very specifically the flaws in the roster, and then that's compounded by the flaws in the roster because everybody's or has been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Avery Bradley had to play like real minutes, he got cut by the Warriors in the offseason. Not even really in the offseason, like 2 days. He was the last cut for the Warriors 2 days before the season started. And then there was the waiver period. The Lakers picked him up, and then he was playing significant minutes against the Warriors in the opener. Yeah. I think that speaks to the lack of options. Some of it is just maybe not great roster construction, but then injuries. Like, I agree with you about AB, but if not him, then whom?
Well, that's kind of my thing, though, is that I would rather a worse defense, because I don't even think Bradley is actually that good defensively. He plays a lot of like the Patrick Beverley defense. That like it looks like he's trying really hard.
You're quoting me from our Slack now.
Oh, well, I mean, I've said that a few times too, but yeah.
Maybe in our Slack I was quoting you from before.
It was just
great minds and such.
Like except my mind isn't great is the problem. But like with Bradley's defense, I would rather have Ellington out there or somebody who isn't good defensively, but isn't expected to be good defensively.
Okay,
Bradley is not only is Bradley not particularly good defensively, but he's being asked to be great defensively, and he hasn't been that in like 5 years.
But then the question becomes, if it's not, because you're not going to give, and I thought Monk actually kind of changed the game, defensively
for sure
today. But you're not going to ask him to take those assignments. You're not going to ask Ellington to take those assignments. So if it's not those guys, and if it's not Bradley, then in those starting groups, it's going to be Russ.
Yeah.
I mean,
like It's brutal that you're paying
I mean,
somebody
there you
damn
go.
near
Here we
$50 million dollars and you can't be like, hey, can you just go like check that guy over there? Like, can you just
sure,
stand in front
sure.
of him for a
That's
bit?
fair. That it's fair to think that, but expecting that is where you and I diverge. You're not wrong, but if you're expecting Russ to do that, it's not something he's done effectively ever.
Yeah.
So, like, so
But
when
it's
you're
not like
constructing,
Bradley is super effective either, though.
he's better than us.
Oof, man.
He
Russ is
is.
bigger at least. Like,
Yes.
now
Yes.
Russ gets lost in a way that really hurts. Like, if Bradley's getting burnt, it's because his guy is just beating him because he's smaller than the guy that he's guarding. And it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't necessarily hurt you as bad team wide. So Russ is more capable of hurting you team wide more than Bradley defensively. But yeah, I mean, like to your point, we're talking about two really flawed options in terms of what you can do there, especially because Kent Bazemore apparently got vaccinated and forgot how to play basketball.
Well, um, yeah. I'm gonna leave Baze alone. But there's a reason he's not in the rotation.
Yeah. Which
I
is,
mean,
but it really hurts though because the Lakers, I think, are
he
really,
has earned his spot, not in the rotation.
he's earned his demotion. You're right.
And so I'm sitting in the house. I grew up in San Francisco. I follow the Warriors, as you know. I follow the Warriors uh, as close as any team in the NBA after the
you,
Lakers.
you have a Warrior shirt on under your Lakers shirt, right?
Yeah, no, I do not. Um, but the frustration that Warriors fans felt last year about Bazemore, and because I'm aware of that and follow the Warriors closely and follow Warriors Twitter closely and watch a lot of Warriors games, I warned Laker fans about what the Bazemore experience was like.
Oh yeah.
And
Just a quick second. So 35 seconds left. The Lakers are down 106-100 after Randall split the two free throws that he stepped to the line for. Had he gone to that one and played in that one summer league, he probably would have made both of those. But forever altered the trajectory of his career with
I
that
mean,
one single decision.
he was pretty decent last year. So.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm
I mean,
really
no, he's
I'm
been
really
pretty
really
decent this year. He
happy.
was great last year.
Yeah, I'm really really happy for Julius Randle. He's freaking killed it. But yeah, I just
So
want to make sure
Bazemore
we're all on the same
experience,
page watching this game.
the Bazemore experience is what it is, and because of problems with the Warriors roster construction last year, he was necessary more than he should have been, more than his ability at this point of his career would suggest, and that was the case with the Lakers, but. In Vogel's scheme, and with the roster construction as it is, you just can't have a guy that's going to take so many chances on defense. He'll make some big plays on defense, but you can't take too many chances, especially because that's what Russ does.
Right. I was just gonna say, like, you can't have two guys like that.
Right. You can't have guys freelancing, taking chances, going for steals, playing so aggressively in trouble.
Yeah.
And for all of the other things that Russ can provide offensively that Baze cannot.
Yeah. All right.
You
Last
can't play
possession.
both of them.
I'm a little behind, obviously, but we'll see how this goes. Oh, Russ is pulling up a three.
Poorly.
Could have seen that coming.
Poorly.
Again, like that's what made it so funny about him like taking issue with Monk. You can't take that three. Everybody in Madison Square Garden was just happy to see Russ pull up like that. Every single person.
Yeah, but to be fair to Russ, like he's the reason this is as close as it.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. 31, 13, 10, not an empty triple-double here from Russ, but
no. Russ was the best player on the floor tonight. So, to be fair to Russ, you weren't getting it from many other places. AD wasn't any good tonight, and take
THT
out whatever his numbers finish. THT, we can talk about, but take out whatever AD's numbers are.
Yeah,
AD was not able to impact the game. He looked slow. He looked tired. Obviously, he's sick. So let's put it aside. It's great that AD decided my team needs me. I'm going to give it what I got, but AD was not impactful tonight. So as far as the stars go, this is why you get Russ, and Russ showed it was a good Russ game. Let's put it that
Yep.
way.
106, 100 is the final here. Aaron and I are going to hang out, answer a couple questions if y'all have them. I want to know who you guys think was the most valuable Laker, least valuable Laker. I have my vote for least valuable Laker. THT is regressing, and it's been tough to watch. THT finishes the
Tennessee
night.
is delicious.
He goes out there 29 minutes, 0 of 8 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3-point range, 2 boards, 4 assists, the 1 steal, a block, 2 turnovers, and a whopping minus 18.
Yeah, how many points did he have again?
Zippo.
As many as you and I is what you're telling me.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm telling you right now, I had a way more enjoyable night than
Did you?
than Taylor Horton Tucker did. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I will go ahead and go out on a limb and say that I enjoyed my evening tonight more than Taylor Horton Tucker did at his. So LeBron comes back.
I need to start doing the show from here. The lighting at the mom's house is better than at my place, so I need to start.
Yeah, it's a good look. I need sun. I am pale.
You live in Texas.
I look like well, yeah, that's the thing is if I get too dark, then I get problems. But yeah, all right. So Alexis says that Monk was most valuable, AD was least valuable. I think if you're taking expectations of an AD game into it, I could see the argument there for AD over even Taylor Horton Tucker. Monk, I want to talk about Monk. When can we see him? Like we talked about Ellington, we talked about Bays, we talked about Bradley. At what point does Monk start getting some more shine in that starting group, especially once LeBron comes back? Do you think we'll see it?
You know what? So here's the interesting thing about Monk. I think Monk fits into the cachet of guys like Melo, like Ellington, that you don't expect much from them defensively. But the hope is you have enough defense around them so that one of them, or at least one of them, can pop offensively every game. But Frank Vogel is a defense-first coach, as I mean, basically every coach in the NBA is generally. So they're going to tend that way. So I don't, even though Monk has played better on balance than Bradley on the season, the expectation is Bradley's going to guard and Monk is not. Yeah. So I don't think we're going to see Monk start, but I would like to see his minutes increase. I mean, because he is one of those guys that can get red hot offensively in ways that Bradley is not going to, even though Bradley was good offensively tonight. And Monk kind of, he in the second quarter was part of the group and maybe at the head of the group that changed the game defensively, fighting Julius Randle on mismatches and not letting Julius get to a spot. And when the Lakers started turning the Knicks water off, he was a big part of that. But I mean, this is why guys are minimum guys, right? Bazemore and Monk and Melo, is because you're not going to get this every night. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, no, you're not going to get it every night, but on the nights that you do get it, I think you know relatively quickly on both sides of the court. And in Monk's case, like, on the nights that he does have it, is a significantly better player than Bradley at his best. Significantly.
I mean, certainly offensively, yes.
But again, like, given the way that the Lakers ask Bradley to defend, I don't think, like, they're making his life so difficult defensively that, like, he's already a fringe NBA player, but then they're making his life so difficult with the expectations, like, hey, go guard their best player. We're going to leave you on an island. You're going to have to do all those things.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, and like it makes it so that a fringe NBA player becomes borderline unplayable because like the way that they're asking him to play is not something that lends itself to winning.
So I don't think it's a Bradley issue, and I don't think it's a Vogel issue. The thought exercise. Russell Westbrook is going to start. So all guys next to him, let's say you advocated for Ellington some and have advocated for Monk some. So let's say the choices next to him are Monk, Ellington, Avery Bradley. That's probably it. So between those three guys and Russ, so 4 guys total. Russ, Bradley, Monk, Ellington. Which one of them are you most comfortable with guarding Steph Curry, guarding Dame Lillard, guarding
You.
I mean, I'll give you like 3 minutes and 6 fouls.
I wish we got more fouls from some of these guys. Like Bradley is borderline not close enough to foul.
Not on Dame or Steph because they're making all of them.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, we got to get out of here, and I got to record both the lowdown and the beginning of today's AI show. But
I'm sorry.
last thing before we get you out of here, there's a lot of chatter about fire Frank Vogel, all those things. Without getting yourself into too much trouble here, does that actually solve anything?
All right, I'm going to be delicate.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
because it's an effort. Because I think the problem is more effort.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is more effort and focus more than cohesion, more than like lineups and schemes. However, and I'm not saying this is the case, if Frank has lost the ear of some of the guys that matter, then I think that could help, but I am going to be very specific that I am not advocating for that.
Yeah, I am there with you.
I don't.
It doesn't do the things that people think it like it. Fizdale and I know Phil Handy is somebody who is kind of being asked for. So we don't know what kind of head coach Phil Handy is.
Hennessy is delicious,
but like none of the guys on the Lakers coaching staff has that offensive resume that you would just say like, oh yeah, he would immediately start the people who need to start, and immediately the Lakers would start executing better on offense, and the sets that they would run would be more effective, and all of these things. Like there is nobody on the Lakers coaching staff right now, or even available league wide, that I would say, oh yeah, hiring that person over Frank Vogel immediately makes the Lakers a better team. And I'd even take it a step further. Some of the people who might take over for Frank Vogel might actively make them worse. Like that's the other thing, is that like we think that they've hit rock bottom with some of these games, but no. Like if we've seen Frank at least sometimes start AD at the 5. We've seen him, mess around a little bit with closing lineups, and we've seen the adjustments that he makes when he has the pieces that allow him to adjust, that some of the other coaches that might be stepping in there for Vogel, and should he get fired, might not. And so for everybody saying, oh yeah, this immediately does this, and this for the Lakers, that's not really the case. That's not necessarily the case at the very least.
Look, I said this on Twitter, the Detroit game, at the beginning of the Detroit game. Like coaches can do what they can do, but they can only do so much. And if the guys on the floor are going to wait until they're down 20 or LeBron gets ejected and they're down 20 to really try,
yeah,
then it doesn't matter. You can coach,
right.
I can coach, Frank can coach, Fizdale can coach, Handy can coach, Popovich can coach, the ghost of Red Auerbach can coach. It doesn't matter.
Although I think if a actual ghost showed up, that would scare the Lakers into trying more often.
maybe. Okay, fine. We figured it out. You and I have figured it out now.
All right. Well, that's going to do it here for the pressure cooker. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you very much, Aaron, for hopping on late notice the way that you did. No Hook this week, so I'm glad that we finally got to chat before or for this week's version of the Hook.
Cheers.
Happy Thanksgiving, bud.
To you as well.
Send the best to the fam. All of you guys out there listening, we have a couple shows tonight, another couple shows tomorrow, and then I'm going on vacation. And I will talk to you guys
and then you'll never hear from me again.
Then I'm going to be coaching the Lakers. Everybody have a good one. We'll talk to you guys soon.